let's go to Eddie Sims. Hey, girl. Did Breanne have a family aspiration, and is that the reason why she was so determined to marry well and settle down despite how? Yes, yes. She So in the first question I answered, I said that this is the most Simish game story I've written. Um, I still wanted it to be in my own style, even though they are very much Sims people. Um, so I never expressly said what people's traits and aspirations were. Um, I hinted at them very heavily sometimes. I think Breanne even mentioned the words several times. Big happy family. No. Not big happy family. Successful lineage. Yeah, I think those exact words came out of her mouth several times. But yeah, she did have the successful lineage aspiration. That girl, man, she is something else. Yeah. So that's why she was so determined, even as a teenager, to like get her life in order because she had to have these kids so she can have this successful lineage. Will Brienne get her happily ever after? Hopefully with Josh. I think so. Um, I toyed around with the idea of writing another story after this, which was kind of like an not an alternate reality because it would kind of be a continuation, but like do Josh and Brienne's story to kind of follow them as they get together because um, I do think it's kind of inevitable for them to be together. They're just perfect for each other, and I mean honestly, I didn't really plan for them to be that way. Okay, so let me just take a quick little rabbit trail. Um, at some point near the end of the story, I remembered that there was an empty house in the neighborhood. And although I didn't want to add another person to the rotation, um, poor Leah. I think she would have been a cool character to have in the story, but I just was not willing to invest in developing another character and I was trying to wind things down. So, like I put Leah in there to see if she would add another dynamic in the neighborhood meetings, but you know, she didn't really show up anywhere. Like I have never seen Leah outside of her house. I've never seen her in the world. I've never seen her in the clubs. I've never even seen her jogging around the neighborhood. That woman just stays at home. So I'm like, ugh. So I wanted to put someone else in the neighborhood just to kind of shake things up a little bit. And I wanted it to be a man. And I wanted to cause not trouble, but I wanted to ruffle Eliza's feathers a little bit. Just to kind of have some fun with that because, I love ruffling Eliza's feathers. But so I wanted someone good looking and young, but not as young as Josh, though. He just came about. He was actually created by one of my friends. So I put him in the story, and so I didn't know Josh at all. He's just a fresh from create a sim. So like I looked at his face and how he was dressed and his traits and his aspiration, and like I tried to imagine what he should be like. Because I had no reference for him at all, because he's a brand new sim. And I don't know, like his personality just kind of happened. Like, he was kind of like this kind of almost hippie type character, who loved nature and was kind of weird. And just thought about things completely different from everyone else. That's why he never really got mad at Breanne. Like Breanne would get mad at him, and he's just like, "Wow, you're really, like, like, like at the museum, she was yelling at him about eating hummus." And she's like going at it, talking about, he's uncouth and uncultured and how dare he this and whatever. And he's just looking at her like, wow, you're really passionate about art. He just kind of happened. So I put him in a neighborhood to ruffle Eliza's feathers, but he ended up ruffling Brienne's feathers. And I'm like, this is like magic happening here. So, I just kind of went with it. And I knew as soon as you guys saw him, it didn't matter what he was going to be like. I knew a lot of people were going to ship him and Breanne. I was like, it's just going to happen. And, I never made a plan to get them together. If it happened, great. But, like that wasn't something I set out to do by putting him in a neighborhood. But, as the story went on, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, these two, even though they're very different, I think if they actually got together, they would be like dynamic. So, yeah. So when we last saw Josh, he was talking to Caden, and Caden told him to call Breanne because he's like, dude, stop trying to, hint at this and, asking about the pancakes when you're really asking about Breanne. Stop asking questions about her. Just call her. Just call her. If you want to know what she's doing, just call her. I don't care. We're done. So I think Josh will call Breanne eventually. And she'll probably give him a hard time. But she'll enjoy it. And he'll probably call her again. And he'll probably keep calling her until she agrees to hang out. And because she's so bored in her new neighborhood and so conflicted with her life, because she thought she was over Caden, but she's clearly not. So she's still dealing with, not having Caden and seeing him with Kelly. And she's conflicted about these feelings she has about Josh. She won't allow herself to admit that she does have feelings for Josh, even though they're, little tiny baby feelings, but there are feelings there. So she's just, not having a good time at all, And she's going to try and hold on to this thing for forever, but she's just going to cave one day. And I think their journey and moving past friendship is going to be hilarious. And I think it will be so fun to write, but it's not something I really want to do. It's a good idea, but it's not something I want to do right now. And I feel like if it doesn't happen now, it'll be irrelevant in the future. So, yeah, sorry for teasing you with that idea.